Hello, so today Mariana, Diego, and I will be presenting to you how home working is regulated in New Zealand. It's a little bit of a different concept, so let me explain this to you. So, New Zealand recognizes and regulates flexible working, but it's not exclusively just home working. The concept of flexible working applies to all employees, regardless of age, gender, their immigration status, and that means whether they're migrant workers or not, or also their experience. And it's designed to promote work life balance priorities. So, the demand of flexible working, which includes working from home, has increased with the rise of single parent homes, dual career couples, an aging population, and also the technical advances that enable home working, as well as other factors. Flexible working includes working from home for various reasons. It also includes set time, which allows an employee to set a number of hours per week of work. It includes part-time employment arrangements and also condensed hours, which is an arrangement by which the employee can compress their set hours of work into a shorter work week. So, all of these different options for flexibility in work, which include working from home, can be used by themselves or also in combination with another option.
So, as Rebecca just explained, remote working in New Zealand is known as flexible working arrangements. And flexible working is regulated in the Employment Relations Amendment Act of 2014, which was an amendment on the original Employment Relations Act of 2000. And the Employment Relations Act uh, gave a legal backdrop for relationships between employees, employers, and unions, and it protected and granted rights to employees. And among these rights, one of them was the flexible working, and it gave employees the right to request a variation of their working arrangements to allow more flexibility in certain situations. So this meant there were conditions that had to be met to be able to be granted the flexible working. One of them that the worker had to be employed for at least the previous 6 months, and the other one that the worker had to have the care of any person, so be dependent, not depend, have someone dependent on them, such as a child or someone elderly. And so this act originally was implemented because of an increase in tech and non-manual workers and ability to work from other places than in the office, and also the shift, the cultural shift in which both partners would work instead of one of them staying at home and taking care of children or elderly. And so there was the need for this arrangement. So, as I said, this act was amended in 2014 in order to reflect modern changes, and the amendment made changed flexible working arrangements, and it made it easier for employees. Among these are the fact that now all employees can apply for flexible working, not just those who have children or have someone elderly they have to take care of. There is no need for the 6 month permanency, no limits on the number of requests an employee makes. There's also the obligation of the employer to respond quicker from 3 months, from a maximum of 3 months to a maximum of 1 month. And also, among other regulations in place, they must provide health and safety assessment of the home according to the Health and Safety at Work Act of 2015.
So, how does flexible working work? Well, as we mentioned, it's regulated by the Employment Relations Amendment Act of 2014. And essentially, what this means is that employers have the legal obligation to provide the process of flexible working to all employees. This includes permanent employees, part time employees, indefinite employees, and this can be requested at any stage of their work cycle for any reason. So, what the Act provides is an application that must be filed by the employee and reviewed by the employer in good faith. And this is an important point of notice that the application must be analyzed in good faith, and thus the reasons and the situations under which employees are requesting for these flexible working arrangements need to be truly considered and truly considered. And for this reason, the process of the application can heavily involve both parties and can lead to many discussions in order to get better information as to the situation and why this flexible working arrangement is necessary and even beneficial for both parties. So at this point, it should be noted that allowing employees to apply is a legal obligation under the Act, but not all requests need to be granted. They just need to be reviewed. So, what does the application process look like? Well, it involves the initial application and the processing time under which discussions can be requested, and then it finalizes with either the approval or denial. And because employers can only say no for certain reasons, these reasons need to be stated when the application is declined, and upon that denial, employees can sometimes ask for more information as to why this request was refused. So it should be noted that employers don't have to agree, but they can only refuse this request if there is a good reason not to allow it. Otherwise, this might not be considered to have been a decision taken in good faith. So, lastly, what does flexible working entail? Well, essentially, all employees can request to change their working arrangements, either permanently or for a set period of time, at any time from their first day of work, for any purpose, such as caring for their children, or that they're older parents, or that they are working in the community. So to briefly conclude, it is important to note that flexible working is a umbrella term used in New Zealand that includes home working, and that home working on its own is not necessarily a big arrangement such as in other countries. However, it is still available under flexible working, and it is specifically regulated by the Employment Relations Amendment Act of 2014.